But right now we're going to step just around the corner and visit the Wells-Built Museum. The museum is housed in what was formerly the Wells-Built Hotel. Now back in the day, the Wells-Built played host to music legends such as Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Ray Charles, and many, many more. During a recent visit, Geraldine Thompson told me of her organization's efforts to preserve this important part of Orlando's history.
First of all, tell us a little bit about PAST, and then we'll segue into a little bit about the Wells-Built Museum.
Well, PAST is an acronym for Preserving African American Society, History, and Tradition. And that's a name that we adopted in 1992 when we were formed. And our objective was to research and to highlight the contributions of African Americans in Central Florida, in Florida, and in the nation. And we wanted to share that information with people, not only local residents but visitors to our area. And we thought that a museum would be an ideal way to accomplish that particular mission.
And so that led to the Wells-Built Museum.
That led to the Wells-Built.
So you opened actually for the public earlier this year. The building, you've had the building for a while.
We opened in February of 2000 in conjunction with Black History Month. The building was acquired in 1997. And we worked with the Trust for Public Land to acquire the building. We received state funding through the Department of State, Division of Historic Resources, to begin the restoration of the building. And we received additional funding in 1998 to continue the restoration. And this building is over 70 years old and had been abandoned for 20 years. The roof had been leaking, the walls were termite infested, water damaged, rotted.
So quite a renovation. Took quite a great effort. I mean, as you look around now.
Very extensive. It was a 2-year restoration project.
Okay. As we talk about the history of the building, let's go back to its origins and talk about it was formerly the Wells-Built Hotel.
It was.
Where a lot of famous people, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, understand when they visited Orlando during the segregation era. Take it from there.
Well, if you can go back, let's say in your mind, to the 20s, and this building opened in 1929. But in the 20s, segregation was the law of the land in Florida and many other southern states. And when African Americans visited this area, unless someone took them into their home, there was no lodging available. Dr. William Monroe Wells decided that he wanted to provide that kind of lodging and those kind of accommodations. One of his reasons was that he owned a performance hall called the South Street Casino. And the South Street Casino was not a gambling casino. It was really a dance hall, and it was a place where many of the great African American entertainers, Ella Fitzgerald, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, they performed there, and at the end of their performance they needed a place to stay. So he built the Wells-Built and opened the doors in 1929 as a hotel. And it served not only entertainers but other dignitaries who came to the area. It also served athletes. For example, when Jackie Robinson
one of the famous places.
Yes, when he came here with his teammates in the 40s, the teammates stayed on Orange Avenue at a hotel called the Angeville.
His white teammates. And
his white teammates, yes.
Of course,
and of course, he was prohibited from staying there. So Dr. Wells built this structure, the Wells-Built Hotel, so that African Americans, when they traveled here, would find reasonably priced, upscale accommodations.
Now, a little bit about Dr. William Wells, and he's the Wells in the Wells-Built Hotel. I understand he was an instrumental person in the development of early African American society in Orlando.
He absolutely was. One of the things that Dr. Wells did, and a lot of people are not aware of this, but he was part of a suit against the city of Orlando to bring about needed improvements in this area. For example, the streets were paved east of Division, but west of Division, this was all dirt. There were no paved roads. So the paved roads stopped at Division. In terms of transportation, there were no buses that came out here. Our children were segregated, and Dr. Wells was very instrumental in challenging some of those things. And he was able to do that because he made his money and his livelihood came exclusively from black individuals. There were teachers who lost their jobs if they spoke up.
Okay.
And so if you had the kind of employment and your salary depended on the establishment, you were very hesitant to speak out. But Dr. Wells did not have those kind of constraints.
To find out more about the Wells Built Museum, call 407-245-7535.